After making 6 product animation and design breakdown videos requiring only basic knowledge and skills in 3D modeling, video editing, and graphic design, and getting positive feedback like this from a lot of viewers, I think I'm comfortable enough to share with you guys how I go about making these videos and how you can make this type of videos yourself, as it may be useful for someone watching these videos and wishing they could make explainer and breakdown videos for themselves. This video is going to cover what you need to even get started, how to go about carrying out research for making your video, creating and finding resources for your video, editing your video, and finally designing a thumbnail for your video. Explainer and breakdown videos rely a lot on accompanying visuals to explain otherwise complicated concepts, actions, or details. Plus, the visuals also have the upside of keeping your audiences more engaged even when simple words suffice. So why does this matter, you may ask? Well, because attention spans are shrinking. A great script alone isn't enough anymore. You need to back it up with visuals that captivate and simplify. And when done right, it can spark curiosity, create an emotional connection, and make your viewers stick around for longer. So what do you need to even get started making this type of videos? Of course, you need words, which will come in the form of a script, well researched and well structured. And you need visual aids, which exist in different forms. As far as visual aids go for this type of videos, I will list them in increasing order of difficulty to create. The first one is a handmade sketch, which despite being rough and a little messy, still manages to get your point across. The second one is a 2D graphic or 2D animation. And the third, of course, being 3D models and 3D animations. Now, no one will argue the fact that as you move from a handmade sketch to a 3D model, your explanation becomes much more interesting and engaging. It's almost as though you could pull some of these models out of the screen. I'm sorry guys, I couldn't help it. So let's discuss the tools you will need to get your script and your visuals ready. For preparing a script, there are 3 things which I usually do that I recommend. I visit blogs and sites which give a detailed breakdown of the product or topic I'm about to work on. I go to YouTube and watch similar videos on the same topic, see the things that were done right and see the things that I could do better. And lastly, use AI like ChatGPT to streamline all the information I've gathered from the different sources to create a script that has both structure and flow. For preparing your visuals, we are going to focus here on 2D and 3D still graphics and animations. For 2D graphics, you have tools like Canva, Adobe Illustrator, Inkscape, and for 3D modeling and animation, we have SolidWorks, Fusion 360, Blender, Keyshot, and much more. The last tool you'll be needing is a video editing software. Now, there are numerous video editing softwares out there, but the one I recommend is CapCut because it has really come to make life easy for non-professional video editors and newbies, which is what I'm going to be using in many of the examples in this video. Now, if you're watching this video and you're already comfortable with another video editing software, that's not a problem. This video is more of a general guide for making explainer or breakdown videos as a newbie or a non-professional in 3D design, 2D graphics design, and video editing. So the information shared here will never get too specific. So this basically means that no matter the 2D, 3D, or video editing software you are working with, you will end up with the same results. As at the end of the day, all these tools are just basically outlets for expressing your unique creative style. Let us now kick off with the first real step of making these videos: planning and research. The general plan for making these videos goes like this: research, scripting and voiceover, preparation of visual aids, putting it all together, and thumbnail design. Once this plan is laid out, it will ensure that you don't forget to get all the resources or don't spend too much time deciding what should come next or what tasks can be accomplished simultaneously to save time and effort. Here's how I approach research. Start by visiting relevant websites and articles, then watch related YouTube content. This gives you 2 advantages. You can learn what works and what doesn't in terms of content delivery and visuals. You can also identify gaps in their explanations and find ways to fill these gaps in your own video. Also use AI like ChatGPT for structure and flow. By feeding AI with key points and ideas, you can generate a structured draft that you can refine further to suit your style. Once you're done with your research, the next step is transforming your findings into a cohesive and engaging script. The script is the backbone of your video. It guides everything from your visuals to the tone of your voiceover. Here's how to craft an effective script. You can craft an effective script for this video by starting with an outline that organizes your research into sections or bullet points by using visual cues. So as you write out your script, think about the visuals that will accompany each part of the script. This also helps you plan your visuals in advance and ensure that your script and visuals work together seamlessly. Also, remember to add some personality. Don't be afraid to inject a bit of your personality into the script. Okay, maybe don't overdo it. Once your script is ready, it's time to record the voiceover, which of course you should do in a quiet environment and try to make it sound as natural as possible. The process of getting visuals for your explainer or breakdown videos can generally go one of two ways, either by creating these visuals from scratch or by building on existing visuals to suit your explanation. Let's start with the hard way that involves you creating the visuals from scratch. There are two types of visuals you create on your own: camera recorded visual aids or digitally created ones. We're not going to the details of camera recorded visuals, but for these, make sure to use proper lighting and take multiple shots of the different things that appear in the script and use them whenever your digitally created visuals fall short of explaining them well enough. It doesn't also hurt to show yourself working on the project you are talking about and also do some A-roll shots if your video needs them. As for digitally created visuals, they generally follow the order of 3D modeling or 2D graphics design, rendering and animating, and finally, adding illustrations and effects. Here are the key things to remember when working on the 3D model or creating 2D graphics. Always screen record your work while creating the model or the graphic. It's far easier explaining a lot of things on your 3D model or your graphic workspace rather than on your rendering workspace, which is way more time consuming. Also, when creating visual aids, use familiar tools to create objects to avoid wasting time. Avoid adding unnecessarily complicated details, which you can just add later while doing final edits. The point here is to focus on how it appears visually and if it conveys a message, rather than focusing on every single detail, some of which may not even feature during your explanations. When rendering or animating, remember this: get the color right, get the texture right, and render. Unless you're trying to explain a mechanism, in which case animating individual components is justified, just stick to entire model animations like turntables and rotations. Also, let the rendering of animations run in the background while you continue with other tasks which don't necessarily require the animation you are currently working on. This is simply because rendering animations take hours. I personally allow my animation renders run overnight while I sleep and wake up 7 to 8 hours later to find them ready. Adding illustrations and effects to your animation is done on your editing software. These illustrations and effects can range from fluid motion to vibrations or even just directions of motion. Some of these effects and illustrations can be found in the CapCut stock library or on Pexel, but really, I get the best ones from Canva. All you have to do is hop onto Canva, create an empty presentation project, go to Elements and type out the keywords to describe what you want and check out all the sections: graphics, pictures, videos. Inserting all the elements that will be a vital addition to your final animation. Still in Canva, you can get all sorts of illustrations, from wavy to curved arrows to emphatic circles and so on. The possibilities are endless for getting illustrative graphics, pictures and videos to make your visual aids more complete. To make your life easy, do well to insert graphics and pictures on one slide and videos on a different slide, as you have to export them separately. Once exported, you upload these resources to your video animation project and add them when necessary. So as a quick recap for creating your own visuals from scratch, be it 2D or 3D, do not waste time on components that are not absolutely vital for your explanation. Also, you must not draw or model every single component. Use existing graphics, pictures and videos to compensate for the lack of some details. I can assure you that no one will notice as long as your lazy design does not get in the way of the explanation. Now to the easy part of finding visuals and making changes to suit your design. I typically use GrabCAD to find 3D models similar to the one I have to work with for any project. GrabCAD is a cloud-based platform for collaborative design work, and a lot of 3D designers upload their models there to be easily downloaded and reused by others for free. Sometimes you find detailed designs and other times just guides to build upon, but in any of the cases, it is almost always far less time-consuming than starting from scratch. So you download the models you like, make sure to check that the file type is compatible with your 3D modeling software. You can then upload this file to your software and make changes to suit the particular needs of your explanation. So as a quick recap, when creating 2D or 3D visuals, focus on simplicity and prioritize the components which convey the message. Use Canva and GrabCAD to find ready-made assets that can ease your video design workflow. And remember that it is best practice to credit creators whenever possible for their awesome contributions. Now it's time to bring everything together. This way, transform your raw footages, your animations, and all your other visuals into a cohesive and engaging final product. Of course, in your video editing software. Before diving into the editing process, ensure that all your resources, animation, visuals, illustrations, and voiceovers are well organized. You can create separate folders for animations, images, stock videos, and sound effects to save time searching for assets during editing. Adjust durations of visuals to ensure they stay on screen just long enough to support the explanation. For animations, use precise cuts or transitions to match key phrases in your narration. Also remember to incorporate sound, as sound design elevates your video by making it more immersive and engaging. Add background music if necessary, sound effects or ambient noise to complete the visuals. And spice it all up by giving your video a professional finish by applying color grading, adjusting the brightness, contrast, and saturation to enhance the visuals. Also maintain consistency across all the scenes to avoid sudden color shifts. Finally, review the entire video for any mistakes, misplaced visuals, abrupt cuts, or audio syncing issues. Welcome to the final piece of the puzzle, packaging your video. Creating a captivating thumbnail is one of the most vital steps in the creation of these videos. As you can see, these videos are not low effort videos, so it's going to kind of suck if at the end of the day you upload them and no one clicks on them just because your thumbnail is no good. A good thumbnail is key to grabbing your audience attention and convincing them to click your video in particular in a sea of options to pick from. Because honestly, no matter how great the content of your video is, if you fail at the level of the thumbnail, then you will never get your message out there because no one's going to click on it. So let's see some things you can do to make your thumbnail actually stand out. Your thumbnail should communicate the essence of your video at a glance. Avoid cluttering it with too many elements. Instead, focus on a single strong image or idea. Use bold contrasting colors to make it eye-catchy. Include text strategically. Adding a few words to your thumbnail can clarify what your video is about. Use 3 to 5 words and make them short, snappy phrases. Pick fonts that are clear and readable, even on smaller screens. And use high contrast colors for text to ensure it stands out against the background. Also, the images you pick for your thumbnail should be of high quality visuals. If you're going to use screenshots from the video, take screenshots of your video at the best moments. Add some glow effects, shadow effects, or overlays to make it more dynamic and ensure the subject is well lit and the focus of the thumbnail. A well-designed thumbnail makes the difference between someone clicking on your video or scrolling past it. Take the time to package your video thoughtfully. It's the final step in delivering your hard work to the world. So when you start making these videos, remember that perfection is not your goal. You're trying to grow. So take that first step of creating your very own explainer or breakdown video and sharing it with the rest of the world. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.